everyone, it's KingTutsPro. Welcome back to another Final Cut Pro 10 tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you 8 of the most insane masking effects for Final Cut Pro 10. No plugins or presets are required in today's video, and if this video can hit 500 likes in 4 hours or less, I will make another video just like this on Tuesday. The first effect we're going to be doing is this one here. It's a skull, a flaming skull effect. The only thing you need for some of these effects are free assets, and I will have them in the description that you guys can download. Go about where you want this to be a freeze frame, because we are going to be creating a freeze frame. So I think I want it to be about here. So I'm going to go up at the top. I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to go to add freeze frame. I'm going to zoom out, and this is just a still image. As you can see, it's a video clip, but it's just an image. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to trim this down quite a bit. And if we push play, it's going to kind of stop, and I want it to play through a little bit, just like that, and I want it to end right about here. Perfect. So that's roughly 10-12 frames. Hold Option and drag upwards to make a copy. We're going to go into the effects, go to masks, go to draw mask, and drag that onto that clip. Then what you want to do is make your selection of your subject. Once we're there, we're going to finish this path off by clicking that. And you can tell if we disable the bottom clip, it looks just like that. Now you're going to notice that some of these points are a little bit jagged. So what you can do is we can go into the feather and just feather this outwards just a little bit. We're going to go into the project browser, and we're going to download this clip here as well as this fire skull. So what you want to do to get the fire skull asset is you want to go to flameboyvfx.com. This video is not sponsored, so I'm not being paid to say any of this. If you go down, you're going to see the free fire skull asset. You can see here it's just drag and drop. Go to checkout. You would add it to the bag. I've already done that. Just drag the actual footage into Final Cut. And once you do, it's going to look something like this. What you're going to do is you're going to click and drag the flames below the actual freeze frame, just like that. And it might be a little bit long. So what you can do is if you zoom out and you press Command R to bring up the retiming options, you can go to the edge and just bring this inwards a little bit to kind of make the footage go a little bit faster. Then once you're there, just click and drag this and trim it to the length of this freeze frame, which is about 12 frames. Select this clip here, which is the flames. We're going to go into the blend mode over here, and you're going to change that to lighten or screen. We're going to go into the fire skull, and we're going to drag that right above our media, and I'm going to trim this. Press Command B, so it looks just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the free transform tool, and we're going to make this smaller so that it's right on our subject. Click done, and now we're going to trim this a little bit because I don't want it to start right away. So I push play, I want it to look kind of like this. Select all of the clips. We're going to right click, and we're going to go to new compound clip to group them. I'm going to be lazy and just type in 1, and so now it looks like this. So at the beginning of the video clip, you're going to add a scale keyframe and a position keyframe. And we're going to go about halfway, maybe here. We're going to zoom up, not too much, but just a little bit, maybe about 116. And then we're going to go back to transform and just kind of make this and just drag it in like that a little bit. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We're going to click back on here, click done, and let's go to right there is where our last keyframe was. And then we're going to go to the second to last keyframe on that same clip. And we're going to type in 100%. And here we're going to type in 0, and on the y-axis, type in 0. It'll look something like this. Super quick and easy. Let's move on to the second. Alright guys, so the second effect is going to be a zipper kind of effect. You can use this at the very beginning of a video, and if I push play, it's going to look something like this. Super cool. And again, this would also work on the end. So if I drag it to the end, you would just reverse the clip. So instead of it going like this, you can go over here and just hit reverse clip. So now if I push play, it'll look just like that. So I'm going to show you how to create this. You want to have 2 clips in the timeline or whatever clip you're going to be using. I actually created this actual kind of PNG asset for you guys for free. You got to visit the link in the description and download it. All I ask for you guys is just a like and return. That would be awesome. You know, helps the algorithm as well. Add the black zipper first. So drag that into the timeline. And you're going to trim this down to the first clip. So I'm going to press B and delete that. We're going to go into generators, solids, custom, and drag that below the black zipper. Position under X axis. We're going to drag that all the way to the left, about maybe here, halfway. And then we're going to create a mask on the zipper. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the effects, masks, add that onto the black zipper. We're going to zoom out to 50%. Go about halfway, as close as you can. Hold shift so it's straight, and then go around the edges and finish this off. Zoom in to about 100% or maybe even closer to 150. What you want is to click this red line and drag it to the left or to the right You want this to be right around the middle, as close as you can to the zipper. Then you're going to go back to the full size. For now, what we're going to do is just make another copy. So hold both of those layers, hold Option and drag upwards again. So it's above the media. We're going to move the black zipper above. The black zipper has to be above the custom layer here. So we're going to go into the position. Instead of it being negative 962, just type in or get rid of the comma and press enter and you're done. It's literally that quick. Now all you're going to do is reverse the mask on the top clip, this one. So what you want to do is make sure it's selected and just click invert mask and you're done. So now that you have that done, on the x-axis, we're going to type in 20. So it moves it to the right side a little bit. And we're going to click on the bottom black zipper and we're going to type in negative 20. Now we just got to move those black solid layers a little bit over so that it's not in the middle here. So just go to the x-axis on that top clip and we're going to move it to the right side. So if I zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing, you're going to notice you're going to have this black overlay. So we're just going to hide that just below that PNG image. And then the same thing for the custom one, which is the left side. We're going to drag that to the left, as you can see. Drag that right below it. We're going to go back to fit, and now it looks like this. And we're going to add the pull tag, which is this one. Drag it above our media. We're going to trim this down, and now it's, again, a PNG image. Change the scale of this to about 38%. And what you're going to do is you're going to move the playhead at the beginning, go to transform, and go to the y-axis and drag this up and down, as you can see. We're going to drag that all the way up until you can't see anything, like that. Add a keyframe, go all the way to the end. One frame to the left and drag this all the way so it's to the bottom out of the frame. So now if I go back and push play, it looks just like that. We're going to select the black zipper, which is the right side. Right click and group that one. I'm going to name this right 2. So this is just the right side, and do the same thing for the left side. So group that one, and I'm going to name this left 2. So now you can see this is the left side and this right clip is the right side. And then we have just the zipper asset. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the titles and generators, go to solids, add the custom below the assets, but above your video clip, trim it. And once you have that set, it's going to look like this. Now we're going to add a draw mask to that custom layer, go to the effects mask, add that onto that layer. And what we're going to do is we're going to go a couple of frames in so we can see this. Zoom out here to about 50%, click and make a selection of this inside piece. So if I zoom in so you guys can see what we're doing. What I'm doing is I'm just making a selection in here. I'm going to zoom out though because I want this to be out of the frame, just like that. So finish that selection off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add, don't move the playhead, go to the control points and add a keyframe. Then go one frame to the left, click in between these 2 points and click upwards, but don't drag it all the way up, but just a little bit like this. And invert the mask. So make sure that's inverted. So now this way, it'll look like it's animating. So if I go left, I think that's good. So now if I go through, it'll animate like that. And just press right on the arrow key every single time and just move, click in between this red line and drag it right below this zipper point. Do that again and again and again. So just keep doing that so that it looks like the video below is actually coming through this solid layer because we added the draw mask. So we're just gonna go through every single piece here and we'll finish it off like that. Perfect. So now if I go back, you're going to see that this remains black and this is see-through. So if I go back and push play, it'll look just like that. Now we have to animate it the right and left side so it's opening. It's very easy to do. So I'm going to, once this zipper is out of the frame, extend these 2 clips outwards. So we're going to move that all the way out like that. So press B on the blade tool. And again, same thing, highlight both of them, press Command R and extend them outwards a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's slow. This is still an image, so it's not affecting anything. This is just making the clip a little longer. I'm going to select the right side. I'm going to add a keyframe at the very beginning here. Go to the position, maybe 5 frames over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 6. And we'll go to the y-axis or the x-axis and move this out of the frame. Now if I go back and push play, it'll look just like that. Same thing for the left side. Add a keyframe at the beginning, go to position, and go 6 frames over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to drag it to the left side. So something like that. Now if I push play, that'll go out at the same exact time. So if I push play, it'll look something like this. Now I can highlight everything, group those, and I'm going to name this zipper. And if you want to add this to the end of a video, we're going to have to reverse the clip. So we're going to select it, click on this, and we're going to hit reverse clip. So now if I push play, it'll kind of zip backwards like that. So you can add it to the beginning and the end. So just make a copy and then just make sure that this one's playing in the normal speed. So if I push play, it could look something like that. Let's move on to the third effect. All right, guys, so the fourth effect is going to be this really cool ice blob looking thing. I don't know what to call it, but it's a really cool effect that you guys can do, and I did a little bit of a different look to this than the original video. All right, so what you want to do first is have your video in the timeline, which I already have here. This is about 20 frames. Duplicate the layer, go to the effects, go to masks, draw mask, add the draw mask on top of the top clip. You pretty much just want to make a selection of your subject, so whatever the case may be. So in this case, I'm going to move the playhead and just click once. I like to go with curves in this case when I'm selecting a person, so just click and drag. All right, guys, so once you have all of your selection, what you're going to do is you're going to add a keyframe under control points, and then you're going to go to transform, add a keyframe next to the position, as well as scale, just in case your subject gets smaller like this one. And all you're really doing is you're going frame by frame, moving each of these points over and making sure that they are following your subject. Okay, so you're just going to keep doing that frame by frame. It might take a little bit of time, but effects take time in general. All right, so once you've done that, what you want to do is go into the project browser, and you're going to go in the description of this video, download this like static TV background footage. So what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag the static TV below this clip here in between, and you're going to delete the rest here. Select the static TV here, and it's going to look like this. Hold Option and drag it downwards. I'm going to disable the top clip so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to press V on the keyboard. I'm going to select this second clip. And I'm going to go into the blending, and I'm going to go to blend mode, change it from normal to stencil alpha. So this will affect the layer below it like this, and it hides everything except the bottom clip where we made our selection with the mask. Then what you're going to do is you're going to highlight both of those clips, the middle clips here, group them. So now it should look like this. What you're going to do from there is you're going to select the static effect clip, go to the effects, go to distortion, then you're going to go down, add the underwater effects. So now it's going to start to look like this. I'm going to move the playhead at the beginning, go to the scale. We're going to make this pretty big actually. So something like 180, add a keyframe, and then go to the end, or not all the way to the end, but just a couple of frames before that. So about here. And what you're going to do is you're going to type in, you can either type in 0 or just drag it all the way until you can't see it anymore. It'll almost look like this, but we're not done. So what we're going to do is, once it's there, we're going to change the color. So we're going to go into the color inspector tab over here, go to color, adjust the global color here, and choose whatever color you want. I'm going to do red for this sample. Hold Option and drag downwards to make a copy, but below it. Select the top clip, and then you're going to go into, I think it's under Cosmic Looks. You should have this tab if you're on the latest version of Final Cut Pro, and just drag Cosmic Cool onto that top clip, go into the color board, go to color, and then change this color to blue. So now it looks like this, okay? But we got to change some stuff. So we're going to go into exposure. The shadows, we can bring that down a little bit, something like that. And we're going to go into exposure, and we're going to bring this all the way up. And then we're going to go to shadows, and you can change this. You can go back and adjust these tabs here, but that's pretty much the effect for this one. It's a quick one. Alright, so the next effect is going to be the really cool kind of zoom through mask effect. What you need is 3 different clips. So you need one that you want to start the actual animation from, and then the second clip that's going to kind of go through that video, or it's going to loop through that one, and then the video at the very end is going to be this shot here. And then from that shot, it's going to go on to this second scene here. So they're all completely different scenes, which makes it really cool. So this is almost like an effect / transition. So what you want to do is first go to where you want to add your freeze frame, and we're going to go to edit at the top. We're going to go to add freeze frame, zoom out, and you're going to have this. So we're going to have to now delete the video, and we can get rid of this next clip there. I want this to be about 1 second long. So right here, we're going to press Command B, delete that. So that's about 30 frames. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. So on the second clip, we're going to find a spot where we want to use, we're going to go to edit, same thing, add freeze frame, and we're going to delete the one on the left, and we're going to delete the one on the right. So we're going to delete that. And this one, again, we want this to be at 2 seconds. So it's a second long exactly. Trim that one and delete the rest. And we're going to go into effects. We're going to go to masks, draw mask, and add that onto this clip here. Then you want to zoom into the clip here and just make your selection of whatever you're going to be transitioning through, like a loop. So in this case, I want this to be as a loop. So I'm going to make a selection of this Rolls-Royce badge. That looks good. So once we're there, we're gonna go back and we're gonna change the feather. So if we feather it inwards, it's gonna look like that. But what we want to do is invert the mask. So if we invert the mask, everything will be shown except the badge. So now we can increase or decrease the feather. I'm gonna move it to the left. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing for the second clip. So go to the effects, go to masks, draw mask, and add that one there. Same thing, just go to 100%. Or however much you need to zoom in to make your selection. So I'm going to make a selection of his chain. So we're going to use this as a loop, and I'm going to click and finish that off. So something like that is okay. And we're going to go back to fit, and we're going to hit invert mask. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on the first clip. So we're going to go to the anchor point, and we want this plus sign to be in the middle of wherever your selection is or your mask selection is. So we're going to go to anchor, click on the 0, and just move this so it's about centered about there, and the y-axis controls up and down, so about here is almost centered. Now if I click done, you're going to see some black edges. So all you got to do is, without adding any keyframes, just increase the scale, and that looks good. We're going to move the playhead at the very beginning. We're going to add a keyframe next to scale all. So we're going to start this off like so it's out of the frame. Then I'm going to go to the end, one frame to the left. Just drag it all the way down. You don't see those black edges. So now it should look something like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag the second clip below that one. We're going to add another keyframe. So we're going to go to scale all, add a keyframe there. We're going to go to transform, and this plus sign has to be over here or wherever your subject is at. So we're going to go to the anchor point, and we're going to move this over, and we're going to move this one down a little bit. Now click done, and again, same thing, you have black edges, so just increase the scale. Make sure the playhead is at the very beginning and make this a little bit bigger. All right, so once you're here, what you want to do is you want to go back to transform, and you're going to go into the scale, and you're going to add a keyframe, and you're going to start this off a lot. So you're going to start at about 320%. Maybe 300. You don't have to go extreme on this one. Press right on the arrow key and just move this slightly down. Again, press right on the arrow key, and you're going to start seeing those edges from that top clip appear. Press right on the arrow key and move it down a little bit. And you just want to move it ever so slightly with minor adjustments here. Once it starts getting closer to the edge, you can start moving it in a lot more. From here, we're going to start moving it just a little bit. And now we can just go and add it and just move it like that. And press right on the arrow key one more time and just drag it down a little bit. So it looks like this, and now it's going to kind of move on to the second clip. So now if I push play, it'll look just like this. So from here, what you want to do is to hide those black edges for some reason, in case you have it like I do. What you can do is you can right click and go to new compounds clip to group it. And then once you do that, you're going to go into the effects, go to tiling, go to kaleido and add a kaleido effect. Go to this point here and just increase the width, and the height is the important part. So about here. So now if I click off of it, you will barely be able to tell that it has a reflection. Now you're gonna notice at the beginning though, here it's going crazy. So what you can do is start this off all the way to the right for the height as well. Just add a keyframe and then go to where the black bar starts to show, which is about here, and just move this back down. So mainly the height in this video. That looks good there. So now if I push play, looks just like that. Drag the third clip below that one. Click on the transform tool. We're going to go to anchor point. Same thing. We're going to have to move the point here and move it so it's centered. And we can adjust this as well. So something like that to the right, and click done and go to scale and just move it so it's like this. Add a keyframe and go to the end of that clip. The reason we don't have to add so many keyframes is because it's hidden between this video, the second clip, and everything else. So we go one frame to the left, we can go to scale and just drag this all the way down. So now if I push play, it'll just look super smooth and transition onto the next clip. So that's a really quick way of doing it without any plugins or presets. With that being said, let's move on to the next effect.